Yo guys, what up? This week I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail how to flip an old soul song into a hard trap beat. So I just downloaded this old soul song off of YouTube. I'm gonna start off and figure out the tempo. Downloaded this free tempo app and figure out what the closest BPM is. Low 140s is gonna work. The drums start like right around here. Find out what chops I want to take. Looks like the one beat. I'm just gonna pull that back to the beginning. So that's like a clean 4 bars right there. Duplicate, drag this down. Starts to really go off time here, but I can work with it. Let's keep going. I want to cut right on that love because that's the beginning of the next bar. Look at me. Chop this and this, kind of like extra vocals on top. Look at me. When they recorded these types of songs, they weren't necessarily tracking to a metronome. Chop it as close as possible and then I'll show you guys some more techniques. So like right there, and count some bars out from here. I'm saying I do for the rest of my life. Right here I'll chop, and that's all I'm gonna need. So we have 4 little chops here. Sauce them up some more, put them on time as close as possible. I want to kind of quantize these a bit. Let's hear the chops so far. First chop, you can tell, is almost exactly 4 bars long, so I'm just going to hold Option, stretch it to that full 4 bars. You can hear it start to get out of time in that second half, so I'm just going to chop that in half. Select those, go to Region, this Flex and Follow spot, turn that on and align bars, and now we can go ahead and try quantizing the chops. Start with 1/4. Okay, now the second one. The second part gets out of time, so I just chopped again and I'm gonna try a different quantized value. Let's try maybe 1/2. Pull this back a little bit. This hit right here is supposed to line up with that 1/2 bar. Hold Option to stretch it again. Okay, here's that first 4 bars. Should be pretty close to perfect. Clean. Let me split that in half, select them both, go on and align bars again, and let's start trying to quantize these now. Okay, now that second one, let's loop that and hear that chop. And we just have 1 more to work on now. Chop that in half. This transient right here is peaking up when it should be right at the beginning. So let me try pulling that back. And then I'm going to hold Option and drag that back to 2 bars exactly. On and align bars again. I'm going to go ahead and quantize these 2 chops now. First half is giving me issues, so let's see. Okay, second half. It's pretty close. Let's try some quantizing. Okay, so here's that last chop. So that's how I'd put these chops on time. Now we can get into some processing. I'm looking for 2 sections, one for a hook and one for a verse. Okay, so this part could be the verse, I think. Kind of want to try dragging these over maybe. Hold Option and copy them over. This last part, I'm going to copy over this chop again, cut it in half, copy it over. It'll sound like this. So we have that little repeat going, which is going to be a full 8 bars now. That's hard. I'll select all these chops here, hit Control B, bounce them all into one file. That's gonna be our first chop. Copy that over, try this. So let's see how this sounds now. I'm gonna bounce this down. Okay, so now we have two chops and we can get into processing and splitting these. So once you have two 8-bar chops like this, I want to split the stems and take the drums and bass out of the sample. Start by right-clicking, processing, stem splitter. I'm just gonna keep them all checked and hit split. Creates a little bus for you. Look at me, I'm in love. Delete the drums, this melody part here. Control G, normalize, and delete the bass because we're gonna make our own drums and 808s for this. Just normalize that chop. Now we can do stem splitting on the second chop. And just delete the drums and the bass. And let's hear it. I'm saying I do for the rest of my life. Now we have the chops that we want ready for effects. Let's get it. I want to find out what key we're in to start with. That works. Pitch shift it up 1 or 2 semitones, going by ear and listening to kind of the main notes of the chords playing. Let's try up 1 first. Now let's find the root notes for that second chop. I'm just gonna slap some more effects on here now. Cut some lows out. Throw some compression on there. Chorus. Reverb now, I'll go Space Designer. Just a little layer of Portal trippiness into the vibe of this chop. Keep the frequencies cleaned up. So what I'm gonna do is just drag these two chops up inside this chop. I'm gonna right click and go flatten stack. Just creates a bus where all the effects are on both tracks. Get them hitting around -12. And we can just go ahead and get jumping in on some drums now. Just pulled in some drums from my new Southpaw drum and loop kit. If you want that kit, first link down below. 2-step to start with, and let's work on some rolls maybe. And do some pitch and velocity work on those rolls. Here's that hat pattern. Snare pattern. Throw a little roll at the end with some 16th triplets. Trickle that velocity down gradually. Pull a little open hat. So that should do it for the main drums during the hook. I'm gonna drag the root notes for this hook down to an empty quick sampler and just pull in some 808s. I'm gonna go with that Southpaw 808. Now let's mess with that pattern. I'm not going to make it any more complicated than that. Let's run this 808 pattern now. Now let's find a little bit different drum pattern for that second chop. Now I'm just going to drag in maybe some sound effects. That's it. Sounds pretty full. Now let's just work on that 808. Just have those root notes from when we flipped the sample. Here's that second 808. I'll run it from the top now. So that's all we're going to need for the final beat. Thanks for watching this week. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out that Southpaw kit if you need some hard drums. That's linked down below. Peace.